Hello, and welcome back to my garden. Today we're in my cottage garden, and actually weather is so wonderful. It's a little bit breezy, but it's sunny and warm, and actually I believe that you can see all these gorgeous blooms of roses, and actually I'm hoping to do a tour, but okay, that's for another day. For today, I would like to discuss with you propagation. In my last video, I was doing up potting for my red currants, black currants, for my gooseberries, and I actually propagated them from stem cuttings. And I was thinking about it like, okay, I was referring for the whole video, I was referring to this process. It's like propagation, and I was like, no, but it's not only that. Propagation is much wider. So today I would like to discuss with you 5 ways to propagate your plants, and actually each of these ways can be actually for free, and there are always options to make it more cost effective. So the first way to propagate your plants is actually to grow them from seeds. And you can do it absolutely for free. You just need to get your own seeds from your own plants that already grow in your garden, and you can propagate them really easily this way, and that's gonna be for free. Then you can ask your family, your friends, your colleagues, your neighbors for seeds. Probably someone will share them with you, and another option is to go to the gardening center to buy seeds from there. And actually this way is really cost effective because investment in seeds can be really like a zero, and you can get as many plants as you need, and that's always fun. The second way of propagating your plants is actually taking root cuttings, and you can divide hostas, you can divide alliums as I was showing you in one of my recent videos, and you can get as many plants as you need just from one clump. And that's a really good way to propagate and to get more plants for free. Another option that would be to ask your friends, your family, and your neighbors. And yes, each and every time I will be switching to another point, I will always highlight this thing that actually community can bring you so much, and all you need to do is just to share your passion with the people around you and ask for help. And actually that kind of can be rather uncomfortable to do, but once you start showing what you're creating in your garden, I believe people around you will feel this passion and they will be glad to participate and to make you kind of happier. So you can propagate with actually bare root plants. And that would be the third option for this propagation with cutting of roots. It's usually much more cost effective not to buy the plant in the pot, like the whole thing, because you will pay all the work that goes into uppotting these plants and keeping them nice. So what you want to do is to buy bare root plants, and you can even buy them online. The third way of propagation is actually from stem cuttings, and it works like magic. Just 6 months ago, this plant didn't exist, and I took a cutting, and actually you can see that it was that big, and I put the cutting of this salvia into the ground. I kept that for a couple of months, and then I've separated the plants. So right now I have a beautiful plant ready to go into the ground, and all I did was to cut a little sticks and to put it down. So if you are asking and wondering how big they should be, here is another example. I'm starting my roses. I had a very beautiful bouquet of one of our friends coming for Easter, and the roses were just magnificent, and I decided to take cuttings of them. And actually, I have even more in a vase, and that's just an example. You will see they're huge, wide, beautiful, and I will get them for free. And actually, that's a really good thing, because you have so many plants that you can propagate just from a stem cutting that you can't even imagine. Hydrangeas, roses, verbena, actually almost everything, nepeta, salvias, rosemary, like you can't even imagine. The list is so huge, and it's really fun and easy way. So that would be option for free. Another option would be, again, ask your friends if you like something in their garden. Just ask, can I get a cutting of this stem because I really like your plant? Can I divide it like this? Can I propagate it like this? And yeah, you can do this. And actually, there are some online groups where you can swap your plants, and maybe even you can, but I don't know, I never saw it, but probably you can even buy stem cuttings and start your plants from there. So the last two ways would be not actually propagating, but or maybe it is, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but actually it's getting your plants for free actually. And fourth way to do so, that's to rescue plants. And actually I have a beautiful example here, because yesterday one of my friends brought me these geraniums, and they're not in their prime. He bought them in a garden center and left them in the car and forgot about them, and then at some point he saw that they're not doing great, and he was buying these plants for the arrangement, and now it's not working for this. So he brought them to me saying like, do you want to save them? If you want, they're yours. If they die, they die. But if you can make them live, that's perfect. And that's a huge part of this thing of making your garden more beautiful. Because again, if you share your passion with the people around you, so people will know that, okay, I have half dead plant, or even they might think that it's a dead plant, and they will bring it to you, and maybe you can bring it to life. Okay, it's more fast, okay, it will take some time, but if you're in a limited budget, that will work like a magic. And actually, I can tell you that with two gardens here in a cottage garden and there in a vegetable garden, I can tell you that at some point you're finding yourself in a really tight budget saying like, no more. I've spent so much money on the plants. Now I want to find ways to make it more effective, because I just can't and actually don't want to spend all the time on them. So I will be rescuing these plants, and they will grow, and they're gonna be just beautiful and magical. And actually, the last but not least, but really specific thing, is actually to search for new plant in your local or community recycling centers or composting centers, because often people bring their plants that actually look like that, but it means that they're just sleeping for winter. But sometimes people get frustrated and they toss this plant that actually you can keep and actually you can bring to life. And I have a really beautiful selection of moms in my vegetable garden, and all of them were actually not brought my friends, but actually taken from the recycling center. And they're absolutely gorgeous, they're beautiful, they're blooming there each and every autumn and bring so much fun to us. I know that it's tricky, and first for me that was kind of but actually, why not? If we're going there and we're tossing all our things that we need to get rid of, and we see something that can grow, that is kind of in a okay condition, never in a good one, never in the prime, but in an okay condition, just like this rescue geraniums, then why not? At least I can try. And a small bonus, small tip advice. If you don't want to mess with all this propagation ways, or at this point of time you feel like it's too much and it's more complicated than you want them to be, then there is a good tip of being smart with your budget and your gardening. It's actually buying plants in a small containers in a minimal size that you can find them. And as soon as you get the plants, you up-pot them. So for example, this blueberry, I bought this plant less than a month ago, and it was in a tiny container, and it was small and tiny, and I could have kept that in a small container all that time long, and I'm sure that this plant wouldn't give so much growth as it did. So what I did, the first thing, I potted this plant. Now it's doing fine and it's developing, and at some point I will plant it out into the ground and it's gonna be just fabulous. And this is gonna be it for today. Hopefully that episode was really useful to you, and actually share your favorite way to propagate your plants in your garden or another way of smart gardening. I will enjoy reading your comments, and see you next time. Thank you. Bye.